Hey everyone, Ryan here. We're MandRproductions with a brand new LEGO Star Wars 2022 rumor update video. We got a ton of info in this one, including some pretty detailed set descriptions from Promo Bricks, so it's almost certainly seen these sets that we have been dying to see. At this time last year, there were some leaked images floating around on the internet, and that basically means that at any day now we could end up seeing pictures of the LEGO Star Wars 2022 sets, but today is not that day. There's still a lot of new info to cover. If you guys enjoy these videos, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and let me know what you think about the LEGO Star Wars 2022 rumors and the lack of Clone Wars and Bad Batch and literally anything prequel in the comments section below. Anyway, we'll go through all the brand new information first in this video, and then we'll segue into a recap of everything else LEGO Star Wars for 2022 that we know so far. There is still some other 2021 stuff coming out, like the UCS AT-AT, potentially the Ahsoka Brickheads, but you know, it's getting pretty late and we haven't heard anything else on that. That might be something not coming out till 2022. We just don't know yet. And then, of course, the Luke Skywalker lightsaber promo. That seems to be everything else for 2021. 2021 is not what this video is about. We're going to go over there and I'm going to record the rest of the video. I'm not going to sit on the table for the whole thing. So starting out, we have the 75321 Razor Crest Microfighter. It's going to be a $10 set with 98 pieces. Now, that in and of itself is not surprising. We've talked about that before. But the thing that had been said about this is that it won't have the standard stud shooter, and thanks to the new The Batman sets, we actually have a look at what probably is the stud shooting mechanism that we'll have on the Razor Crest Microfighter, and perhaps Microfighters going forward into 2023 and beyond as well, assuming they continue. And you can see here with the Penguin, he has an interesting looking stud shooting device. You place a stud in sideways, which is definitely different, and maybe there's different aerodynamics, maybe it shoots better. I don't know what the rationale behind changing the piece was. Functionally, it appears to be the same. As far as the looks of it go, you can definitely debate that this one is a bit slimmer and better looking from that aspect. Now, the next piece of information is a brand new set that we didn't know about. It's the Death Star Trash Compactor. This is a set that I'm really surprised to see show up here. It wasn't originally rumored with everything else, and according to everything that I can see, it doesn't really have a set number assigned to it right now. Right now, it just seems like this set from the outside looking in that might be filled in the summer of 2022. It might just come as a surprise set for something. I'm not really sure where this fits in, but nonetheless, it says the Death Star Trash Compactor is another display model aimed specifically at adults. Of course, it makes sense, an 18+ set. It goes on to say the familiar scenery from Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope is built on a 20 stud wide black base. The walls are brown and gray, just like in the movie, and of course in the Death Star set where we have the Death Star Trash Compactor already. There's a lot of trash included on the ground, apparently, of this set, and it includes the minifigures Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Luke, and Han in their Stormtrooper armor. At the base of the set is a black 2x4 tile with LEGO Star Wars printed on it, and a 2x6 tile with Han Solo's quote, "One thing's for sure, we're all gonna be a lot thinner." The set consists of 666 pieces and will be available in May for $60. So I'm not 100% sure if it coming out in May for $60 with 666 pieces is accurate, because that exact thing is also attributed to another set. We'll get to that in just a second. I think this is great. I think this is an awesome idea for 18+ adult themed sets, really just display sets, non-UCS display sets. That's what LEGO Star Wars has needed for a long time, and finally we are getting that. I mean, we've been getting it with the helmet sets, I suppose, but this is finally becoming what it should have been for the last 5 or so years. Definitely very exciting, but the set 75329 apparently is actually the Death Star Trench Run, which is the set that I believe was originally rumored. I was very surprised when the Death Star Trash Compactor showed up, because if we recall, the original wording was like Death Star Battle, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. How is that the set? But maybe it is. But turns out the Trench Run is still coming. It is the Death Star Trench Run. The diorama is about 26 studs wide and stands on a black base. It shows the typical trench of the Death Star, but only with a wall on the backside, so you can look into the scenery. Makes a ton of sense. It's exactly how I believe anybody would want a displayable Death Star Trench Run to come. In addition to the turbo lasers, Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, pursued by Darth Vader's TIE Advance, and 2 other TIE fighters are included in the set. The spaceships are apparently about the size of polybag builds. Definitely wish the builds were a bit bigger than polybag builds, but still, you can definitely get some very, very fine models at that size. Just like with the Trash Compactor, there's apparently a 2x4 tile that says LEGO Star Wars, and then a 2x6 tile with a quote on it, and this one's from Darth Vader, says the Force is strong with this one. Minifigures not included, and the set consists of 666 pieces and will be available in May for $60. So that's the crossover information there. That's where we're not really sure which one of these is exactly which. I'm assuming the information with the trench run is correct, and that the Death Star trash compactor is the one that we don't know the piece count and don't know the price and don't know the exact release date for. The other big new information is about 75330, the training on Dagobah. 1,002 pieces for $80 in the US, so good price per piece, I suppose, but price per piece is not everything. Anyway, with this one, we are getting a black base that's about 50 by 20 studs. Apparently, that's pretty big. 50 studs is actually longer than a gray base plate. 20 studs, obviously much smaller, but nonetheless, very large base there. It says Yoda's hut takes up about 2/3 of the model, and it is built on sand-colored bricks. It is surrounded by a large tree root for the first time. In the front of the hut are some gray storage boxes. The other area of the diorama represents the swamp, which is mostly built out of 1x1 tiles and trans green, and there's where your big piece count comes from. See, it's all a sham. They could have just used 2x4 tiles and the piece count's much lower. You get the point. I don't even know why I'm talking about that. Apparently, the upper right wing of Luke's X-Wing peeks out of the swamp at an angle, which is disappointing to me. I was really hoping that this set would have more of the X-Wing included. If it's just the wing included, that's like, yeah, I mean, that just kind of sucks. It's just straight up not what I was looking for there. Again, like with the other two sets, we do have the 2x4 Lego Star Wars tile. We have a Luke Skywalker, Yoda, and R2-D2 minifigures. Oh, you know what? I was really hoping for that Darth Vader. No Luke Darth Vader figure in this one. Kind of a wasted opportunity there, I guess. And we also have a 2x6 tile with Yoda's quote, "Do or do not, there is no try." So pretty good one there. And those are the detailed descriptions of Lego Star Wars 2022 sets that we have thus far. Pretty exciting detailed descriptions at that. So let's quickly run through a refresher of everything else coming in 2022. We have the 75320 Hoth Snowtrooper Battle Pack, including 3 Snowtroopers. We've got the Hoth Scout Trooper. It's going to have 105 pieces for $20, obviously increasing the price of battle packs. Honestly, that's tough. The day is here. We are in the territory of $20 battle packs. 13-year-old Ryan's worst nightmare has come true. Fortunately, I have an income now. I guess when I was 13, I was a little bit more fearful of $20 battle packs because, like, I was 13, I had no way to get any substantial amount of money. Regardless, I don't think a $20 battle pack is a good thing anyway. It could be a good battle pack. Price is just going to hang over everyone's head no matter what on this one. And without an extra figure to make it feel like it's actually worth the extra $5, I'm just not seeing it. Of course, the 75321 Razor Crest Microfighter we touched on, 98 pieces, $10. 75322 Hoth AT-ST. It's supposedly going to cost $50 and include 586 pieces. So quite a big piece count. It's said that the head of this model, I think, is supposed to look substantially different than the head of AT-ST's past, so we should be getting a different build with this one, essentially. It's also going to have an AT-ST pilot, a Chewbacca, and a Hoth Rebel Soldier, along with a probe droid. Hoth Rebel Trooper is apparently the only Hoth Rebel Trooper included in any of these Hoth sets coming out, which is a bit odd to me. Like, you need a snowspeeder or something to have with this, and it's just not here, unfortunately. The set number 75323 is completely missing. Nobody seems to know anything about it. 75324 is the Dark Trooper set with Luke Skywalker. It's the hallway scene. A lot of people, including my YouTube video title, are calling it a battle pack, but it's not a battle pack. It's a set that has 3 Dark Troopers, but that doesn't make it a Dark Trooper battle pack. It is a good way to collect Dark Troopers, though, and it will also include the Luke Skywalker minifigure from The Mandalorian Season 2. So that's rather exciting. Apparently 166 pieces for $30. So I would expect a rather skimpy build out of this one, which is rather tragic. It did sound promising at first, but now seeing that piece count at only 166, there's just not a lot I feel like you can do with that. I mean, fingers crossed they did, but it doesn't look very promising. Next up, we have set number 75325 from the Book of Boba Fett, $60 or $70 in the US. I'm not really sure which one it is. However, we don't know anything about this one other than it's from the Book of Boba Fett and will likely be releasing in May or June, I think. So this one is definitely pushed out further. It probably has some pretty big spoilers from the Book of Boba Fett. Maybe it'll include Cad Bane. I read something on r/Star Wars Leaks this week about there being a Rancor in the Book of Boba Fett. You know, take all that with a grain of salt, but those are two of the bigger rumors that I've seen floating around about the show. And so, you know, could have that, could have the big bad villain from the Book of Boba Fett. Whatever it is, there's probably something in this set that's so spoilery they had to push the set back back and hold it back. And next up, we have set 75326, probably the most exciting set for a lot of people, Boba Fett's Palace at $100, 732 pieces. Not a ton there for that $100 though. I want to say it was rumored to come with 7 minifigs, so we can kind of assume 2 of them are Fennec Shand and Boba Fett, which leaves 5 hopefully unique and brand new figures that we've never had before from the Book of Boba Fett being included in the set. Maybe a Gamorrean guard would already be in there as well, but maybe that's still 4 brand new figures for that set. That'd be great. Definitely seems rather promising either way. Then we get into the helmet set. It's looking like to me the canceled helmet set is the AT-AT pilot or driver helmet. We have Luke Skywalker's Rebel pilot helmet and the Mandalorian helmet with 676 and 584 pieces respectively, and they both cost $60. That Luke Skywalker pilot helmet having nearly 700 pieces is pretty promising. It was a build I was worried about, but seeing how many pieces have gone into it, it does get me kind of excited that it could actually look good. Which, I mean, did we really expect LEGO to put out a Luke Skywalker's Rebel pilot helmet that looks bad? They would only do that for like a Commander Cody or something. Anyway, those sets should be super popular, especially that Mandalorian helmet. I think people are going to be all over that. Even though it's a similar design to the Boba Fett helmet, it's still a completely different character. Of course, 75329, 75330, we went over with the Death Star garbage compactor or the Death Star trench run, probably both coming out, but one of those is that set number. And then 75330, the training on Dagobah with Yoda, Luke, and R2 for $80. And then the big set coming out on May 4th, the UCS Luke's Landspeeder for $200. That one probably going to include a Farm Boy Luke and an R2-D2. As far as the release dates for all those sets I just talked about, nothing is set in stone. Like, a lot of stuff should be coming out in January, but if you remember last year, January was like 3 sets, and then March was like 3 sets, and then April was like 3 sets. So there's a total possibility that a lot of these sets are not all coming out on January 1st. Just keep that in mind when January 1st rolls around and like a few of these aren't here and you're like, oh, is that set still coming out? It's like, yeah, it is probably still coming out. You just have to wait. This is all first half of year. This is January through June, basically, not just January, even though that's sometimes how I title it and talk about it, but it really has expanded to more than just January, unlike in years past. I kind of live in the past.
I'm here with the LEGO 2010 rumor list. This will probably be the first one on YouTube. 6th on the list is Luke's Landspeeder. I'm guessing $20 to $50.
But there is still more sets apparently coming in the first half of the year. I saw some conversation going around that the 2 minifigure packs for LEGO Star Wars will shockingly, and I say this in the realest sense, shockingly include 4 minifigures, not 3. I was positive they would include 3 instead of 4 because it's Star Wars. You got to skimp out on the minifigures. You got to save that money. You got to make as much money as possible. It's fascinating how one part of the company works for LEGO and the other one doesn't work the same way. And it looks like they actually might do us a solid and throw 4 minifigs in these minifig packs for $15, which would be akin to the battle packs of old, I suppose, just with a lesser build. And apparently, according to the rumors, they will be coming out in the first half of the year. Again, that doesn't mean January, doesn't mean February, doesn't mean March. Could be any time up until June, really. It's definitely a wide range for a release there, but first half of the year is exciting. I was under the impression these wouldn't come out in the first half of the year, so if they do, that is pretty hype to me. Oh, and as to the Republic fighter tank rumor, obviously a very hyped rumor, and a rumor at that, I have heard nothing more on that. I haven't seen anyone else really talking about it, so, I mean, as much as I want it to happen, it doesn't fit in any of these set numbers. Now, that's not to say it's not going to happen, because it appears that the Death Star garbage compactor is going to happen, and it doesn't fit with any of these particular set numbers. So, it's still on the table. It's just the one that's out there that seems the least likely of all the 2022 rumors, very unfortunately. But if that one does come to fruition, it is supposedly going to include 2 of Mace Windu's clone troopers, along with Mace Windu. So that'd be great, but, seems unlikely. Anyway, hit the video with a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and let me know what you think about the LEGO Star Wars 2022 set rumors, and especially those descriptions that we heard early on. I'm very much looking forward to hearing a description of Boba Fett's Palace and the Dark Trooper set. Those are the 2 exciting sets to me that I want to hear more about that we still don't know enough about. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.